Inside Mercer Basketball with Coach Bob Hoffman and your host Rick Cameron. Brought to you by Wild Wing Cafe.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome once again to Inside Mercer Basketball. We're here to talk with head coach Bob Hoffman after what was an amazing week at Hawkins Arena this past week. Coach, there's a lot we want to talk about each game. Let's take them one at a time if you don't mind. Let's go back to last Thursday night and a Furman team who finished the season so well last year, making it all the way to the championship game, and they've got some talent again this year.
Yeah, well, Stephen Kroon, special player, one of the best players in the league, maybe one of the better guards in America. He has the ability to get to the rim. He can shoot and did shoot from three very well. That's one thing he hadn't been doing as well this season, but he hit 5 threes in our game, and seemed like he was on fire the whole night. We were having a hard time finally, and then Sibley was also playing at a high level. But we got out to a good start, really good start, and then they came roaring back at us.
Coach, let's go back to Stephen Kroon just a moment. I'm interested in asking your opinion. To me, as he was on a roll in the second half, so to speak, did he not remind you somewhat of James Florence, what he could do with the basketball?
Yes, he was so fast with it and be able to attack the basket. He almost moves in space so quick that you can't respond to him. Just a tremendous talent. He's gotten better every year. Credit to their staff and to him and what he's been able to accomplish since he's been there.
Coach, in the waning moments as they were mounting that furious comeback, what was the overall basic message of you and the staff as the team huddled for the 8 and the 4-minute timeouts?
Well, same thing we normally get to in those kind of settings when things are tight. You know, just continue to believe in each other, believe in what you're doing, stay to the principles that we know are important. You know, try not to panic in those situations, and just believe good things can happen, and that's what we were communicating, that's what we were talking about. But we were trying to find specifics that we could play certain kinds of defense or use certain kind of offense to get good shots to finish the game.
And then the young freshman, Ethan Stair, hit a huge three in the
corner.
corner.
It was big as the game got. He just came wide open, a certain shot that we work on continuously with our guards, trying to dribble drive and look for the drift in the backside corner. He caught it and ripped it like it was nothing new, and it was a big time three for our program.
And he also, even though free throws early on were going great, they struggled a little bit, but he also hit one free throw that did make the 2-possession game.
Yeah, one free throw was big. We had several empty trips at the free throw line that gave him an opportunity to get back in the game. But somehow, some way, we were able to continue to fight through it and got to the final buzzer leading in that game, and I'm glad there wasn't any more time left in that game.
Absolutely. Well, we had a great crowd that night, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
3,672 folks on a Thursday night. But as you and I got together Saturday morning to record your pregame interview, we both just sensed that something special was about to happen in Hawkins Arena Saturday afternoon.
No doubt about it. I mean, we'd had a lot of people talking about the game. The buzz in town had been tremendous. We'd had a lot of people calling us, talking to us about the game. It's continued to grow over the years, and you were right in what you communicated to me and what we were talking about. We didn't know for sure what it'd be like, but we thought we had a chance to have one of the biggest crowds in the history of the program, and sure enough, it turned out that way. They found different ways to get bleachers in and get chairs in, and there was people standing on the top 2 or 3 deep, I think, when the ball tipped, and I think it ended up over 4,500. I don't know who all counted those heads, but I'm sure it was right at 4,500.
Well, it's amazing, Coach, how when you enter the arena, before they open the doors, some days you can just sense energy that's there, even though there aren't bodies. And, of course, it all got off to a great start. We're indebted to our own student, Betty Cantrell, Miss America. Got us off to a great start. She was amazing. I know you didn't get to hear her as much as you'd like, especially at halftime, but what an amazing Mercer student to represent our university.
Yeah, it's just incredible what's transpired, and having her sing the national anthem, get it started the right way. We had a great student crowd in the stands going crazy, and it was just electric. No other word can describe it, and almost from the beginning to the end. Although I thought one of the fun parts of the game was when we got to the second half, And I think there was about 8 minutes left, and we were kind of back and forth, and I kind of urged the crowd on a little bit, and then two of our sophomores decided they were going to slap the floor at the same time, Stefan Jelks and Jordan Strawberry, and it hadn't happened a whole lot in the past, and that's not something we really talk about, but they did that, and I thought the crowd got even louder, which it had been pretty intense the whole game, but that was a tremendous finish to the game.
Coach, what an amazing game. It goes into overtime. The lead changed 16 times, and we were tied 8 times. Wow.
Just a lot of back and forth, tremendous program. Coach Mike Young's one of the best coaches in the country. They do things right, and it was just a tremendous college basketball game. It had everything you probably want in it. We were thankful and grateful we were able to finish on the good end of that. We didn't shoot any free throws the second half or in overtime, which is almost incredible when you think about it, and we still were able to win the game.
Well, and of course, Wofford, the defending champion in the SoCon, both regular season and the tournament, one of only a couple of schools Mercer has not beaten since joining the SoCon.
Right.
So very important to get over that hump and defeat them for the first time on Saturday.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a great win for our program, great win for this team. These guys continue to find ways to make it happen together, and that's what we're going to have all the way down to the end if we're going to have a chance to win this league.
All right, we've got much more to discuss. We'll be back in just a moment with more of Inside Mercer Basketball. We'll be back in just a moment.
I was looking through the paper and I saw a really good ad from 5-Star Ford in Warner Robins. So when I went, I was actually really picky, and my salesperson worked with me until I finally found the truck that I liked, and it was a black Ford 2011 F-150 XLT Super Crew, and it actually has an EcoBoost, so it's a little bit better on gas, and I love it. I would definitely recommend 5-Star to all my friends.
Well, we're back at Wild Wing to talk Inside Mercer Basketball. Head coach Bob Hoffman. Coach has coached many quality years, both here in Mercer and other institutions as well. Coach, I thought it would be interesting for our Mercer fans. Let's talk about how you prepare for an opponent. But let's start back in the summer of a given year when your staff has put a schedule together. Kind of break it down into conference games, non-conference. Non-conference is normally against an institution you may not play very often. From the very beginning, once that opponent is locked in, what starts the process of that scouting report?
Well, our assistants get together and determine what would be best. Maybe they know somebody or had played against, seen that program, understand a little more about what's going on with that team, maybe have some interest, specific interest, or be from that area where that team's coming from, maybe know some more of their players, certain kinds of things like that. And then they determine, without my help really, back a few years ago I used to determine all that, but now those guys kind of get together and decide who's going to take which scout, and then they try to figure out once the non-conference, so it kind of usually plays out where nobody has a back-to-back game, especially early on, because there's a lot of recruiting going on still in October and November trying to get ready for those games, so that's really important. And then once you get to conference play, we lost 2 assistants, so we had 2 new guys. What you would like to have is carryover from year to year where you'd have knowledge. Of course, there's a lot of new coaches in our league, so that kind of changes things up too. So familiarity is a big deal, and still you don't want to have too many back-to-backs because that really makes it difficult if you have to have both games in the same week.
All right, you assign pretty much a scout to an assistant coach. It's his team or opponent coming up. At what point does Bob Hoffman get involved in getting ready for that game based on his earlier preparation of a scouting report?
As soon as the game that we just got through is over, Cody Kimwright, who's doing one of the cameras right now, is in charge of all our film, and he makes sure I like DVDs. Our guys do all computers. He'll give me all the DVDs of all the team that we're getting ready to play. So as soon as the game is over, win, lose, or draw, on the road, at home, I'll start watching the next team, and I won't do that until we get done with the game. It's just too hard because you get confused about a call or something, because I'm big on trying to have as many calls and trying to understand as much as I can about a team. So I will not start personally. I scout every team, but I don't scout until the game's over. For instance, last week we played Furman on Thursday. As soon as that game was over is when I started on Wofford, didn't start before that at any time. Now, they might have played them, which they didn't. If Furman had played Wofford, I might have seen them, but I was not paying attention specifically to them until that game is over.
Coach, already this year there's been a situation where one coach in our league went to another institution. Now, at that point, is your preparation based on the history of what that coach has done rather than the players he has inherited?
Definitely both. We would do both. I went back and watched our VMI games of last year because that's where Duger came from, that's now at Citadel, and I watched how we approached his pressure, and we tried to use those for our advantage. But then the scout, whoever had that game, would look at individual players, and I did too. I watched Citadel from this season too, but did a little bit of both because you need both and get as much history as you possibly can, which really hurts us a little bit in the sense that we're still learning some of the new guys, including East Tennessee State, who will start with this Thursday, is a team we have not played before. We played some of the players, but Coach Forbes is a new coach in the league, even though I've known him forever, and we've gone against each other as assistants before in the Big 12, but that's really it.
Coach, it was almost seemed like some games you might try to outsmart yourself in the fact, okay, this is what we do, this is what they do. Now, let's anticipate among the coaches what we think they're going to do based on what we do best. You can almost do too much thinking in that regard, can you not?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can do too much thinking because I don't think very much anyway. But I, in general, what you're saying is right, but I think for our team and how we prepare, it's important to have a game plan, which we will do, figuring on the principles, the defensively and offensively that a team has, and then we'll implement the changes that we're going to do for that game specifically. And each game will be a little different based on the principles of the team we're getting ready to play. And not every team is like that. For example, Wofford would be more just they're going to do what they do, and you know they're going to do what they're going to do. Can you stop them? And so, which is obviously played out well for them over the years. But for us, we're going to tweak a little bit. I like messing with putting things in, and it just adds more fun for me, and I think our guys enjoy the mindset of what are we going to do this week, how's it going to work, and then trying to take it to the floor, and then when it does work, I think it adds value to your team. I think it adds confidence to your program and your team that the things that we've worked on are going to be really good for us, and for the most part that happens more often than not.
And then final question in this area, Coach, in conference play we play each team twice, so how much will that scout change between the first meeting and the second one?
Yeah, great question, in the sense that some people will change what they will do. We might do certain changes, but depends on if we won and lost. Also depend on the game and how the game played out, exactly what we'll be looking at. But there'll definitely be some changes the second time around, and then if you get into conference play the third time, could be even more. But it's just fun. That's, to me, that is the most important part, and the most fun part for me personally is the tweaks and the changes day to day and game to game.
All right, there's the inside look how Coach Hoffman gets the team prepared for a given opponent. We're going to take a trip to campus, talk to Justin Lewis, and we come back with more Inside Mercer Basketball.
As a business owner, you need to choose the financial direction that's best for you to find a clear path to growth and success. At BB&T, we support businesses of all sizes with personal service and advice, sharing the sound financial knowledge we've gained over more than 140 years so you can move ahead with confidence. Talk to us today about your business goals. BB&T, sharing knowledge for a brighter direction.
Back at Hawkins Arena, time now to get to know another one of our basketball players, senior guard Justin Lewis this afternoon out of Richmond, Virginia. Justin, first off, if you would, allow our Mercer fans to get to know your family a little bit. Tell us about some of your close family members.
I have a lot of close family members. My mom, my dad. My mom's name is Katina Lewis, my dad, Raymond Lawrence. I have a daughter, her name is Autumn Ray Lewis. She's my biggest motivation by far. Everything I do is for her. She loves watching my games at home.
Yeah.
When she's watching the game, she's in there going crazy, yelling daddy. So it's kind of fun to see those videos.
All right, tell us about the path that allowed you to end up at Mercer.
SAT scores was kind of low in high school. I had a few offers out of high school, but had to go the junior college route. I went to a school, Wallace State, in Alabama.
Yes.
I'm glad I had to go there, though. It was a different environment, way different from Mercer, but kind of got me ready for the Mercer environment, too.
Yeah.
Also, it was a grind, so Coach E came to see me, and we had a bond from there. So after I came on my visit to Mercer, it was a for sure go that I was coming here.
All right, and of course, getting to know you early on, I was told, he's Justin Lewis, but we call him Tutu. I asked you off camera the other day, but for our Mercer fans, repeat it for everyone, how you got the name of Tutu.
Well, my aunt gave me that nickname when I was just a baby. She said she doesn't even know why she started calling me that name. It's just something she thought of and just stuck with me forever.
And now with your teammates,
Yeah.
whether it's the long version, the Tutu, or just plain two, as Coach gets to occasionally.
Yeah, it's whatever. I accept it. My teachers even call me that sometimes.
Wow. All right, let's talk about Justin the individual. How would you describe your personality?
Goofy, fun, laugh a lot. I just want to smile all day. I just love to have fun, especially with my teammates, coaches. Yeah, it's fun being around these guys, and it's definitely more fun with winning. So.
You have found more ways to generate points, especially Auburn a few nights ago. I love it when a player gets into a zone where it looks like you can make a shot from anywhere. Of the games you played at Mercer, or even prior to that getting here, what was your highlight game where you felt like all the aspects that you bring to the court were working?
Auburn game, of course. Arkansas game, kind of got going. Had a couple games in junior colleges like that too. I had about 30+ points, but all the credit really goes to my teammates. They are great passers. They always find ways to get me open. Whoever's the hot man with this team, you just kind of feed them.
Yeah.
Just like the other night against Chattanooga, even though we fell short, Jordan got going.
Yeah.
And when he's in the zone, you got to give him the ball.
Yeah. From the time that you started playing college basketball, how have you changed as a person, or have you at this point?
I've matured a lot. Big key to that is my daughter, and just trying to be a better leader and a better man along the way. And with our coaches, Coach Hoffman, Coach E, all of them, they kind of mold you into a young man instead of just a basketball player.
Yeah.
So they kind of preach family here, and that's what I love about this program. We all feel like just one big family, from the teachers to the fans to the students, everybody. We just feel like a big Mercer family here.
3 seniors on this team, you, Jabri Bryant, and Philip Leonard. How are you appreciating the role as one of the elder statesmen and a leader on this team from a senior standpoint?
I like the role. I appreciate having some of the younger guys look up to me and kind of ask me for advice. And even to this day, I still ask Phil and Jabri for advice because they have been here longer than me, and they know what it takes to win, so I'm still kind of learning from them too.
As we look around this arena that's empty right now, but going back just a few days ago, over 3,500 people in here, how exciting has it been? 7 consecutive sellouts that you guys have elevated this environment to. How is it playing here in Hawkins Arena?
Man, I love it. I love it, man. It plays a big role into our success here. As you know, we are undefeated in here so far. We like to keep it that way, so the fans, y'all got to keep coming out and support us, because that's definitely playing a big role in our success.
When a game is over and you do what I call your victory walk, how thrilling is that to walk around this arena after a big game and mingle with the fans?
I love it, man, because the fans, you can tell that they really care about us. They love us more as people rather than basketball players, and it's just good to come around, especially after win. You come around to see them, they give you hugs and showing you so much love, and you just got to show them the love back, because it's because of them that our success has been great.
Once your basketball days are over, looking ahead to the future, what would you want to do professionally?
I would love to play basketball professionally. That's always been my dream, and that's what I love to do, man. I have a passion for this game, so hopefully I can continue to play, stay healthy, Lord willing, and I love to do that.
We got a month and a half to go. This team right in the thick. You've had a great non-conference schedule thus far. from the insider's perspective, how good can this team be in January, February, leading up to the tournament in March?
This team can be great, man. We just have to keep building on our success, and even with our losses, those losses have to make us stronger. We have to stay together like we have been, man. I love how this team has just stayed together, and we click so well, man. No matter what five you put on the court, they're gonna click somehow. So if we just keep that going and stay focused, man, keep our eye on the prize, we're gonna make some noise, man. We're gonna make some big things happen this year.
Sounds great. That's Justin Lewis. We call him Tutu. We'll be back in just a moment with more.
Okay.
We'll head back up to Wild Wing with more Inside Mercer Basketball.
Thank you.
So here's the game plan. Rush into the Wild Wing Cafe and tackle one of our new steakhouse burgers. 100% Angus, 100% great. It's an all-star lineup that can win you tickets to the biggest games of the year. Where?
Well, a great interview there, Justin Lewis, Coach. You've got three quality seniors.
Mr. Tutu.
Mr. Tutu, providing excellent leadership. I know you really think highly of these three guys, even though maybe Jabri's not playing as much, but the three.
We're still hopeful he can get back and help us.
Providing great leadership.
Yeah, they've been great, and they've been so inclusive with the young guys, and are excited about their success, which is really fun to see them mature and grow, and how their leadership skills have continued to get better throughout the season already. They've been really good at it.
Well, as we take a look at our Sonic Player of the Week from last week, Coach, we had an underclassman really stepped up big, especially on Saturday.
Yeah, Desmond Ringer had an amazing game, made some big-time shots, including the game winner against Wofford, made a great post move, took his time, made a couple fakes and got it to go in. It was fantastic. He was 10-11 from the field. Jordan and Phil made some really great passes to him, but he still had to finish those, including that last one. I started to call timeout with about 6 seconds left when I thought he was going to take the jump shot, and then thankfully he did not take the jump shot, and he put it on the floor and made a post move that he's been working on with the assistants over and over again, and muscle memory played its way out that way. It was great to see.
What was amazing, Coach, he actually made the shot to tie the game in regulation,
that's right.
and then the winning shot in overtime.
Yeah, back-to-back good shots, and it was just a fun game. But I was really thrilled for him. He's had a couple of those the second half at Ohio State. He had a really big game. He's still learning his way, still feeling his way out. Had all year setting out, then had the back surgery. I think there's still room for improvement. I believe he believes that too, and he's working every day to get better.
All right, Coach, let's take a look at the Macon Occupational Medicine. Look at the SoCon as we begin play this week. A lot of teams with one loss, including your Bears. Chattanooga 5-1, Mercer 4-1, ETSU 4-1, just behind Wofford 4-2. I thought last week a couple of teams like the Citadel won a game, and Samford, they played so hard and come so close that now it's really equality across the top of the league.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think there's still going to be some strange scores, as we've talked about. I mean, all those teams are capable any night, and especially if you're on the road, you better be ready. You got to be ready at home, but for sure on the road, those situations and the style of play with several of those teams, with Samford pressing all the time, Citadel presses all the time. You know they're coming at you, and if they hit threes, I mean, like Citadel took 43 threes tonight. We played them. If they drop kicked a few more in, who knows what happened? And I think that's what happened to Furman. They made a lot of those threes when they were able to beat them last week. So anyway, I think the league is tough. I think it's just you've just got to be ready every night out. Doesn't matter who you're playing. Your team has to be prepared, and your guys have to believe they're going to get the fight of their life when they step on the floor, no matter what the name on the jersey is.
Speaking of those road games and tough opponents coming up next, ETSU, we've been at Johnson City many times. We were foes in the SoCon. I remember when you arrived a few years ago, me telling you, I don't know that we've ever beaten East Tennessee State. It seems like we were 0 for those guys.
Right, and then we got on a run and have beaten them multiple times, which was kind of fun. And then we've won some games up there, and they've changed where they play, and We had a shot at the buzzer to win last year. Darius Moten had a shot. We were down 1 right at the buzzer. I thought it was going in. We got down and we fought all the way back. It was a tough ball game, but Coach Forbes, new coach, came from Wichita State, assistant there, longtime assistant, a lot of great programs. He's got tremendous players, has taken some transfers, some high-profile transfers that they know how to play. They shoot the ball at a high level. Their three-point shooting's been unbelievable so far this season, so we know we're going to be in for a tremendous fight against a quality opponent.
They actually, Coach, ETSU was the last conference team to suffer a loss when they lost to Chattanooga.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was a big-time game. I mean, they were right in the game all the way down to the end, and Chattanooga played a little 1-3-1 that bothered them a little bit. But East Tennessee State kept going at them, and they've got multiple guys who can score the ball from different kinds of positions, including the post area, so we'll have to be ready to get them. And then West Carolina, we had trouble with them last year. Coach Hunter's a fantastic coach, tough place to play. A lot of people have had trouble there. They've lost a couple home games already this season, which is unusual for them. And so we know both of those venues on the road, up in the mountains, you gotta bring all you got to get it done on that trip.
Well, Coach, those two road games very tough, but before we finish this show, got to go back just one more time to last Saturday, give you a chance to express appreciation for what was the most amazing day that I have spent at Hawkins Arena with all those people and the excitement.
Well, you're pretty old, so I mean, if that happened that way. So, I mean, the thing that transpired was we had multiple people make that happen, but it was a culmination of a lot of years of work, including our assistant coaches and our players being out in the community, Daniel Tate and his staff and the president and Jim Cole, everybody trying to help us get a crowd and speaking everywhere they went about, hey, let's get out there, let's help this team. And you can't do it all by yourself, and we haven't. And all of Middle Georgia has embraced these guys, and I think it's even gone to a different level than it's ever been before in the volume of people talking about what these guys are doing and how hard they're playing and how they're playing together. They're just fun to watch, and I expect we'll continue to have some great crowds moving forward, because that's what we're going to have if we're going to play for a conference championship.
And led by a coaching staff who is producing a lot of winning basketball helps as well.
Well, we've had some very fortunate endings. We need a few more of those coming forward, but thank you.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for this week with head coach Bob Hoffman. Look forward to seeing you again next week. We'll be back with more Inside Mercer Basketball.